Jim Guzzi.
Okay, we'll take it. Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the May 28th, 2020 Finance Committee meeting to order. Just so everybody knows, I know we've been through this before. Committee members are pretty much the only ones that could vote, but we have no problems with supervisors. Does anyone else jump in for these resolutions? Okay.
You just may want to remind everybody, Jim, to mute their devices.
Yes. As you heard Kelly, it would help if everyone would mute their devices when they're not speaking, because we get a lot of background noise and it's hard to, you know, as you're speaking, I can't really hear what's going on sometimes. Well, so if everybody could do that, that would help. And we're going to get started. We have 29 resolutions to go through today. And the first one is we're going to start with the Health and Human Services. We have 5 resolutions. Resolution number 1. Authorization for the Health Department to accept the grant funding from Columbia University an amount of $197,039 for year 2 of the Healing Community Studies.
I'll move that. That's 100% funded.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. So we're going to move to resolution number 2. Authorization to terminate the 2020 contract with the Philmont Health and modify the Mental Health Association of Columbia Greene County's 2020 contract upward in response to a transfer of assets and liability from Philmont to Mental Health, and then dissolution of the Philmont Health. Funding comes from state and federal funds. No local tax dollars contribute to this. Ron Canappo stated that this is 100% pass-through with no liability to the county other than acting as a conduit for the funds. So it looks like there's no real issues for us other than just a pass-through.
Motion to approve.
Okay,
Second.
we have a motion. We have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Resolution number 3. Okay. Authorization to amend the Department of Human Services 2020 contract to increase anticipated state aid due to county providers due to approved 2020 COLAs. This is 100% pass-through of funds and is an annual occurrence.
Move it, Reichstadt.
Move it. Do we have a second?
Second, Scalera.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 4. Authorization for the Department of Human Services to recontract with Better Health Network Northeast New York for performance-based payments. Is there any discussion on this, or?
I have no idea what it is.
Whereas the COVID-19 pandemic has necessitated that the delay of performance due dates and change multiple performance metrics for its contracted providers.
Yeah, I'll move that.
Okay. We have a motion. We have a motion and a second. That was Ray, right? Second.
Ray, yeah.
Yeah. A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Authorization number 5. Resolution number 5. Authorization for the Board of Supervisors to expand the Department of Human Services' current contract with consulting psychiatric nurse practitioner by 3.5 hours a week. Michael Cole explained that this was necessary to increase the hours of the PNP to absorb some of the existing high caseload due to the termination of the consulting psychologist last week. This would be a permanent change.
And I believe it'll be a cost savings because they're not filling the permanent psychologist position, so.
Okay.
Aye.
Okay.
I'll move it. Second.
We have a motion. Matt was the second. All in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. We're going to move on to public safety. Resolution number 6. Authorization for the sheriff office to declare a 1985 Winnebago camper surplus to be turned over to the Hudson City Police Department. So now Hudson's going to be camping out. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I
I'll
have a
second.
motion. Motion, Sarah, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay.
Do they want it?
Resolution number 7. Authorization for the sheriff office to declare a 2009 Chevy Impala surplus property to be sold at auction.
I'll
Move it, Ray.
All right, we have
Second, Matt.
Ray made the motion, Matt second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, resolution number 8. Authorization for the sheriff office to fill one deputy sheriff lieutenant position due to a retirement of $76,330 and abolish one sergeant position, $71,116. And I think with this is part of the union and could cause a substantial management position as if the position doesn't stay in there. Because this one kind of oversees the sergeants. So this is like certain positions are part of that office. I think it's
Well, it's Jim. It's a paramilitary organization, and which means that obviously you have the sheriff, undersheriff, you have a captain, a lieutenant, and then you have 4 or 5 sergeants. They run organizations like that via the chain of command. So it's a crucial position because, as Jim said, it oversees the sergeants as well as the investigators. So,
correct.
and by doing away with the sergeant's position with fringes, it's over $100,000 savings, which we greatly need at this point in time.
Correct. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
All right, Ray
Ray.
Stats made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a second?
Ron, not second it.
Ron, not. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 9. Authorization to purchase N95 adapters for Scott Air Packs and half-mass respirators, as well as the appropriate P100 filters for 21 county fire departments at a cost of $27,000. This expense should be covered under the FEMA reimbursement for COVID-19 expenses.
Move it, Ray.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We'll now move on to county government. And we're going to be starting with resolution number 10. Authorization to appoint Sarah Crowell as representative of the town of Canaan to the Columbia County Environmental Management Council for a 2-year term.
I'll move that.
I'll second it.
Motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 11. Authorization to appoint Christian Swennington as representative of the town of Stuyvesant to the Columbia County Environmental Management Council for a 2-year term also.
I'll move it.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second, Sterling.
Was that you, Sarah, second? Okay. Motion in a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Resolution number 12. Authorization for human resources to establish a standard workday for certain elected and appointed officials, RS 2417B.
I'll move it. Matt,
And we have Rick Sclera, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 13. Authorization for real property to amend resolution number 4942019 to enter into an agreement with the town of Ankrum, changing the year of the reval to 2023 from 2022.
Move it, Ray.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Sarah, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 14. Authorization for the Board of Elections to purchase clear ballot system for $56,940. This system counts absentee ballots.
I'll move it.
We have motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 15. Authorization to reappoint one civil service commissioner. The 5-year term is up and reappointment is necessary.
I'll move it.
We have a motion. Second.
I'll second it.
Matt, we have a second. All in
Yeah.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now we're going to move on to economic development. Resolution number 16. Authorization to appoint Chris Nardone from Columbia Green Workforce Investment Office to the Workforce Development Board, effective June 15, 2020. Mr. Nardone will replace Maureen as the WIO director due to her retirement.
Move it.
We have a motion. Second. Was the second?
Second. Ron,
Ronat, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 17. Authorization to reappoint 5 members to the Columbia Green Workforce Development Board for a term of 3 years beginning on July 1st, 2020.
move it. Ray.
We have motion. Motion is second.
Second, Sterling.
Sarah, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. We're going to go on to Public Works. Resolution number 18. This is a resolution is requested authorizing the chairman of Columbia County Board of Supervisors to award and execute a contract for the annual 2020 multi-bridge repair and improvement contract to the lowest responsible bidder. Town and Country Bridge and Rail Corporation in the amount of $120,950. There is 5 sites, and these bridges have been yellow flagged. So what they're trying to do is to keep these things from going red. So this is just some repairs on all of them. That this almost seems like it's something we have to do to keep these bridges. Otherwise, they'll get worse or be red flag.
Move it, Ray.
We have a motion. We have a second.
Second, Rick.
I'll second it.
All right,
And I'd
yeah.
like to notice too, Jimmy, that we budgeted $450,000 for that project this year. And we usually spend most of that in that contract trying to do bridge maintenance. But this year we've cut it down to 120 so that we would save money.
Yeah, we're going to give you a star. You've been doing good. Except in next 2. Okay.
Okay.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Resolution number 19. A resolution is requested authorizing the chairman of the Columbia County Board of Supervisors to award and execute a contract for the reconstruction of the Columbia County Airport's North Apron Ramp to the lowest responsible bidder. Jeez. A. Colarusso and Son, in the amount of $934,470. Now, there's 2 resolutions that are quite a bit of money. And the other night, when we were going through this at Public Works, I wasn't really.
Jim, we lost your sound.
Yeah, we lost Jimmy.
Just in time.
Uh-oh, did we lose him totally?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, gosh.
Where'd he disappear to? He's there.
Aren't these meetings fun? This is what we went through Tuesday night on Public Works. People kept disappearing.
I mean, he's still showing there, and I don't know. Hey, Jim, you probably have to jump back in. Ron, do you want to just talk about it, or?
Sure. So these are projects that we had bid out last year, and the advantage to moving ahead with these right now is both of these projects are typically
Can you hear me
funded
now?
90. Oh, there you are.
Okay.
Ron was going to take over for you, Jim, till you came
No,
back.
that's all right. Well, anyway, I think you guys were hearing it. Most of this is 100% reimbursable. Now, my issue with this was cash flow and how long it would take before we got paid, because that's one of the issues that we've been working with is cash flow. But after talking with Dean and Ron Knott and PJ and stuff, and Art had some ideas, I feel that we can maybe make this turnaround in a couple of weeks, hopefully, and be able to get this in and get this job done. And again, this is like Ron was saying, this is 100% this time. Normally it's 95, but I think they increased it, right, Ron? 5 more.
Yeah. So the federal thing added, they're paying the 5% state and federal or county share. So.
Okay.
And
So-
because
Jim, this is
money there.
PJ. I don't know if you saw the email from Dean today or not, but he did check with the FAA and the feds, and that money is there. They don't anticipate any slowdown whatsoever, and it should be business as usual.
Yes, I did, PJ. I did see that.
Okay.
I'm actually going to bring that up, but that's, I think we're going to be fine with this. I was apprehensive the other night, quite frank with you, just from a cash flow standpoint, but I think we're going to be fine with this when we can sneak these couple, there's 2 of them here. So the resolution number 18 is, number 19 is for $934,470. Do we have a motion?
I'll move it.
Move it, Ray.
Ray, we have a motion. We have a second.
I'll
Second.
second it.
Rick, second. Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So now to go to resolution 20. This is the same situation. Resolution is requested authorizing the chairman of the Columbia County Board of Supervisors to award and execute a contract for the wildlife entry fence improvements and projects for the lowest responsible bidder for the amount of $849,132. This is the same coverage, the same approval, the same amount of turnaround. So do I have-
I'll move that one also, Ray.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, Rick.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 21. Authorization to declare the following vehicle surplus equipment and to sell it in our line auction highway number 75, 1995 International Dump Truck.
I'll move it.
Motion, and we have a second?
Yeah. Second.
Second. Okay, Rick, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 22. Authorization to sell at auction surplus miscellaneous shop maintenance equipment, tailgate sanders, and obsolete vehicle repair parts.
I'll move it.
Motion and second.
Second, Rick.
All right, Rick, second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed?
It's all junk.
Resolution number 23. Authorization for the chairman of the board to enter into a 5-year contract with New England Waste Services, Casella, for the transportation and disposal of the municipal solid waste and construction and demolition debris generated by the county-owned and operated waste facilities.
I'll move it, Ray.
We have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 24, authorization for facilities to transfer funds in the amount of $6,000.
Move it, Ray.
We have a second?
Second, Sterling.
Second, Sterling. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So now we have finance, and we have resolution number 25, authorization to award the bid for canned frozen foods to Ginberg's Foods, Cisco Albany, and Whirlies for the period July 1st, 2020 through October 31st, 2020.
I'll move it.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Rick, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Resolution number 26, authorization to award the bid for meat products to Ginsberg Foods, Cisco Albany LLC, and Worley Foods for the period July 1st, 2020 through August 31st, 2020.
In honor of Rick Keaveney, I'll move it.
The other Rick will second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Resolution number 27, authorization to award the bid for ULS diesel fuel, number 2 fuel oil, and ULS kerosene to Main Brothers Oil Company for the period of July 1st, 2020 through June 30th, 2021.
Move it, Ray.
Motion, we have a second.
Second, Sterling.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Opposed? Okay. Resolution number 28, authorization to award the bid for liquid propane to Nolan Bottle Gas for the period July 1st through June 30th. He's been getting this quite a few years, huh? Do we have a motion?
Move it,
I'll move
Ray.
it.
All right. Rick, who's the first one who moved it? Who's made the motion?
Ray.
Ray. Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Ron seconded it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution number 29, authorization to award the bid for unleaded, regular, mid-grade, and premium gasoline to Valley Energy. Have a
Somebody,
motion?
anybody?
Want to make a motion?
I'll move
Yeah.
it. Sterling.
Okay, Sarah made a motion, second.
I'll
Second, Rick.
second it.
Rick, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Hey, Jim,
Yes?
we have one more resolution. Just bear with me one sec, okay?
Okay.
It came out of the insurance meeting. That was just before this meeting, so bear with me.
Sure. I guess my new,
I have
my
a
new-
question.
Yep.
Is that absentee ballot counter a new thing, or has that been around a while? Does anybody know?
It's new.
New.
Thank you.
it says here,
No, I meant, is this a new machine, like a new
I know what you
invention?
mean. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
Well,
it's not a machine. It's a service, I believe, that.
What is it that I'm just
Wait.
curious why we haven't used it before.
No, it's a machine. It's a
Okay.
machine.
It's,
I think it's because of there's so many more ballots that they have to count. And it says here that the clear ballot is the only New York State approved absentee ballot counting system. So,
The prior commissioners didn't opt to go into purchasing this. The new commissioners are asking to purchase it.
which will save us money on the number of inspectors that they'll bring in to count ballots.
Yeah, that was my,
Yeah.
and that was my
Yeah.
question. It seems like we should have been here a long time ago.
Correct.
I agree.
well, at least we're getting there now.
Yeah.
More work, right? Thank you very much.
The 5-year commitment too, Ray.
Okay, we have one more from finance. Resolution authorizing the chairman to enter into an agreement to appoint Marshall and Sterling as broker of record for the Columbia County Mutual Self-Insurance Program.
Jim, I can explain that a little bit if need be.
Sure.
Our current contract expires at the end of July this year. The insurance committee has vetted Marshall and Sterling. We've had 2 meetings with them. They are able to provide us with more consultation and benefits than what we've had previously. And I'll speak for the insurance committee. They said that they believe that this would get the green light I think in the long run, it will save us money as we get down the road because we have not had that experience with any other broker previously. And they also insure many surrounding counties for workers' comp as well.
Okay. Is this costing us any more or not? Or
No, they said their compensation is going to come from the insurance carrier. Now,
okay.
that does not mean to say that if they come along and offer something that we have not done previously, that there will be a cost to it, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Okay. Thank you, PJ.
Yeah.
So we have this resolution. Somebody want to make a motion or more
Move
discussion?
it, Ray.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
Okay, Matt, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Kelly, do you have anything else?
That's it, unless anybody else has questions.
Does anyone have anything else they'd like to bring before the Finance Committee?
This is PJ. I just want to give you a couple updates to the Finance Committee. Just an update, the warrant returns from the towns through today are down about $1.3 million compared to a year ago. However, we do have the reconciliations which will take place in June. So we'll have to determine by the middle of June where we're at. There were, let's see, last year there were about 2 towns that didn't send us any money in May. And this year, I believe there's 4 or 5 towns that didn't. So it does make a difference, but also understand that our warrant this year is up about $1 million. So in reality, we're down about $2 million to date. So when you look at the treasurer's report, that may be reflective in there. One other thing, there were some bills that have passed the Senate and the Assembly at this point in time. Some of them will still be negotiated. Not sure where the governor is going to stand on these. NISAC and the Treasurers Association has come out in not supporting one of these bills, and basically it relates to deferring certain taxes during the COVID-19 declared state of emergency. They want to allow taxpayers 120 extra days to pay some of these bills. Not that that's a problem on one hand, however, it'll create tremendous complications on the other hand, due to we will not be able to re-levy on the 2021 figures, taxes that go out, which could hurt us extensively. The other bill that's passed both houses is they've authorized bans, that any ban that was created between 2015 and 2021, they want to be able to increase the repayment on that from 5 years to 7 years. Now, that doesn't really help us in our particular situation because bans are meant for specific projects. Although it's my understanding they are looking at alternative ways for municipalities to finance. And we've talked about that previously. The other one that passed authorizes municipalities to place a moratorium on tax foreclosures. So again, I just want to keep you up to date. They have not been signed by the governor yet. There may be some give and take in all these, but I just wanted to give you an idea of some of the things that are going on that could affect us.
Thank you, PJ. PJ, too, I was with sales tax. I guess businesses could defer a payment to is it July?
Yeah, I saw the March 20th sales tax, but from what I believe, it's only interest and penalties that they could defer.
Okay.
So
it's not going to affect too crazy then, right?
No.
Okay. That's what
that was my understanding.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Is there anyone else who'd like to bring something, Matt?
Yeah, just to give people a heads up, June 2nd, we're going to have a department head meeting to discuss moving forward in reopening county offices. Michael Reardon has been working with Rob Lagonia, as well as some Brian McDonald and Holly Tanner. and I'm probably forgetting something. I know Kelly's on it, but to develop some procedures and protocols to start opening the county. What we're looking to do is targeting June 8th to bring 50% of the workforce back. It would still not be open to the public until June 15th. But it'll give a week to sort of work the bugs out in terms of new processes and procedures for safety. And then hopefully open with 50% staff on June 15th. And then not long thereafter, we can bring more people back. We're looking at a rolling start on the week of June 8th, which would mean, we'll bring, say, 1 or 2 departments back online on Monday, another few departments back online on Tuesday, just to sort of wean into the process. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. You're welcome to sit in on the department head meeting. It's going to be 9 a.m. on the 2nd. Rob, do you have anything to add, Lagonia?
No, I think you covered it. Sarah Sterling's on that committee too. I knew you were. We felt the best way to bring everybody back would be a slow process, because we realize that there's going to be some bumps and bruises along the way. We've done a lot of work behind the scenes. We've purchased a lot of PPE, so we're ready for that. As Matt said, Brian's been diligently working on signage, and I feel pretty confident that we'll be able to get open safely and do it slowly. Matt made the suggestion of not bringing people back, which I thought was a great idea, meaning the public. So we'll do it slowly, safely, get people back to work. And as I said, I'm sure there'll be some bumps and bruises along the way, but we'll have to adjust. But I think we have a pretty good plan to get people back to work. So, unless there's questions.
Great. Good.
This is Michael Schmiedis. I just wanted to point out that last month we passed a resolution asking for stimulus aid from the federal government, and the House, with Delgado's support, did pass the Direct Support for Communities Act, which would give some sizable funding to the county, and so now it's waiting for approval from the Senate. So now is really the time to reach out to the Senate and make sure that it passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to discuss anything or bring up at this point?
Yeah, Jimmy, this is Ron Knott. If I could, just a minute, I just wanted to thank everybody for their support in the airport capital projects there. I think it is important to keep things going. We've made some major cuts in that department, but we do need to keep some projects going ahead, and I think that those are pretty safe. The other thing I wanted to touch on with this committee a little bit is the other night at Public Works, we started to go down that path, but we kind of got lost in poor communication. Is we just approved a contract with Casella that's going to substantially up our price of getting rid of our garbage. And I think we need to move pretty quickly on raising our tipping fees. Jolene's got a plan so that we don't have to raise the bag fees right now. But we could raise the scale fees a little bit to start recovering the money that we're going to lose. And if there's any departments right now that can make any money or hold their own, this is one of them. So we should think about that as we move ahead.
Okay. Good. Do we have anybody else? No? Matt, when do you think we're going to resume meetings actually?
I don't know. I mean, it's...
I'm
think,
fine with this, but I'm...
I mean, I think that it's still going to be an effect that you're going to have 10 or less people, in terms of gatherings. So, I mean, I think we're going to continue this for a little while, maybe into the summer, and we can reassess. But it seems to be working. We have a few glitches, but for the most part, we're doing pretty well, and actually, it's increased attendance. So I think, I'm not going to say we're going to end it at a certain date. The governor's office or the governor may tell us when to end it in terms of when they go back to the regular open meeting laws. But I think we've done pretty well in streaming this on YouTube and giving people the opportunity, at least via email, to comment. So we'll let it go as is for a while, and we'll reassess at some point. We can all talk about it.
Okay, very good.
Patsy has a question.
Sure.
She wants to know when we can open town halls.
I don't think there's any, I think phase 2, which will be the middle of next week, that they said that the Capital Region will be in phase 2. I think town halls can probably open then with some, they're going to have a plan in place to deal with the public if, so it's similar to what we're going to do on the county level.
Matt, on that item, I just saw an email from one of our county judges who is sharing what the court system was planning at the town level. And apparently they're open for administrative business as of the 26th of May. Court clerks can come back in and process payments and do mail and answer phone calls. So the court system is taking a small step toward opening up.
Yep.
But no public.
Right.
That's right.
If you look at the phase 2 opening, Governor Cuomo today tweaked some of the verbiage too. It used to say phase 2 was professional services, which we were under professional services. Now he's calling it, I don't have the exact wording, but business, basically business. So he's changed some of the words to try to clarify some things. You can see that in there.
Hey, Rob, what's going on with the camps? Any changes in that? Or?
Well, he opened up camps, and there was some confusion to the camps as well, because what happened was 2 or 3 weeks ago, the state health department sent a letter down to Jack Mabb's office and said that we could open up camps. And then 3 or 4 days ago, he says camps are open. So there was some confusion there. Camps are open in reference to campsites, RVs, and those types of camps. We've gotten no word yet on as far as summer, camps.
Right.
We still haven't gotten that directive yet. What we're being told is because of the new issues with young children, he had a plan in place, and then he pulled it back and he's rewording it. And they're telling us we should have it any day, but we haven't had any word on that yet.
Okay. Thank you.
If it's telling, at one of the governor's press conferences, he said if he had children, he wouldn't send them to camp.
Yeah, I heard that.
So.
It's Kathy. I've been taking a little heat in the last few days because of the town park issue. I mean, the whole wide world is closed, but everybody wants Greenport Town Park open. And we're talking about opening it up, maybe, but recreation is phase 4. And we had it open and we closed it because nobody was paying attention. So if we were to open it so that people could go in there and walk, we would put snow fence around the playground, the pavilion, and the basketball court. And what we did to clarify was we're not doing any music at sunset. There's not going to be any baseball games. And we canceled the playground. So that is what we did a month ago when we put out the, with the budget. That was the whole big thing with the budget and COVID, of course. But, the reason we did it was because of COVID and the budget, but the budget is a result of COVID, of the COVID-19. So where is anybody else at? Are you opening your parks? Are you keeping the stuff up around the playgrounds? What are you doing?
This is Patsy. I have been getting lashes daily, if not one, at least over a dozen, about opening up our dog park, which is in our regular town park, because they feel like they have to have the dogs socialize. And I have letters and emails. I had to put up Jersey barriers at the entrances of our big town park because I've been vandalized. I've had groups of 20 in there playing in the band, destroyed my pavilion, threw garbage around, broke into the abandoned buildings there, and so forth. And I just am going to keep them closed. It's all recreation. We have ball fields, basketball courts. And to be honest with you, nobody was listening. So I put up Jersey barriers and a sign, keep them out until we're told otherwise.
We did the same thing. We put up a barrier at the entrance of our town park, and then we put a snow fence around the playground equipment because one day I was riding home from 401, and there were probably 8 to 10 kids hanging all over the playground equipment with 4 or 5 parents watching, and I'm like, this is not good. So we blocked it all off.
I know.
Tennis courts are open, playgrounds are closed. So trying to manage all of that is, tennis courts in my town, people wanted tennis courts open, so we opened the tennis court, but the playground is closed. So, and then there's been very little guidance in reference to even tennis courts. There were some questions in reference to whether you could play singles only versus doubles. So, I mean, the challenges are going to continue to come, and as we open, it's going to get worse and worse, frankly. And Matt and I are on a call every day, and we're trying to decipher the information or that lack thereof. It's a real challenge.
Well,
So most everybody is still keeping their parks closed then?
Ours in
Yeah.
Chatham is open for pedestrians, and we have a pond, so we're allowing fishermen to go in. And we have a community garden, but always with maintaining physical distancing and wearing masks when you can't. We put snow fence around all of our playground apparatus, and we have a skateboard park. And the skateboarders are hopping over that thing like it's nobody's business, and there's pressure to open more stuff, and the beach itself is going to be an issue. But if you look at all the footage nationwide about the beaches, no one's paying any attention to any of the physical distancing. And like you said, with the new thing with the kids and the different multi-system syndromes that they're having, I'd prefer not to open the beach, but I think there's going to be heavy pressure to, that's for sure.
Open the beach.
In
Yes,
Copic, we closed the park, whenever, say, I don't know, 6 weeks ago. So then we went through a little discussion about whether, should we open the tennis courts? But then it was for singles or doubles. I don't have a police force to determine whether it's singles or doubles. So we also just didn't like the optics of opening the tennis courts for, ladies who want to play tennis, but keeping the skateboard park for 18-year-old kids who want to skateboard. And so our position so far has just been to keep the whole thing closed. People can go in and walk, but that's it. So I don't know where we're going to go from here, though.
Yeah, because the Greenport Park is closed, but people park outside the gate and go around it and go in and do walk. And, but we're not. Okay, so that's where I'm at. So there is a lot of, I don't Facebook, I just get told what's on there. And it really doesn't bother me because it is what it is. And they're more concerned about 5 weeks out of 52 with what they're going to do with their kids. And it's a difficult situation for them to be in, I understand. But we have to make choices for everybody, not the select few. And I think so far we're doing a good job.
I think everybody's in the same position.
Yeah,
We
okay.
all are. I mean, like same thing with our town. It's the same
Yeah.
problem. Exactly.
Well,
what our-
that's good. I'm glad we're all on the same page with this.
You're not alone. And
No.
And as far as I know, Hudson's parks are open. Michael, are you on?
Yeah, so Hudson's parks were like, I think similar to what Zanal was saying with Chatham, that our parks are open for walking and for pedestrians.
Okay.
So
What are you
that's,
going to do about Oakdale? Is Oakdale going to open?
we're discussing it. I mean, it's more challenging because there's a beach. And so
Yeah.
if we're not sure if we can open it without lifeguards. And then if we have lifeguards, it sort of introduces a whole another level.
Yeah.
And do we really, can we want to put teens at risk? Do we want to have, and also can we, the waterfront park and some of our parks are quite large. So it's easy for people to social distance. Come the summertime, people actually social distance on the beach. It's a more challenging thing. So I think if everyone was social distancing and wearing masks, it'd be great if the parks were open. And the question is how do you make sure that really happens when you open up the parks? And so that's the compliance issue. The compliance issue becomes more difficult the more you open up.
That's one of the things. Who's going to police the park if we opened it up to make sure that social distancing and masks were used? That's why I closed it the last time. Too many complaints. Okay, thanks.
We all
All
don't
right.
have enough staff to be able to police this.
We're still, all of us are still seeing each other, and I think that's good. I'm very appreciative that none of us have, or our loved ones have gotten ill. So as far as I know, loved ones. So I'm glad that we're all together still.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm very grateful.
Thank you.
for that. Yeah, very grateful.
Anybody can take over Kinderhook whenever they want. I'll trade you.
No, we're not letting you go.
All right, we got to, I guess that's about it. Is there any other discussion? Matt, you got anything else to say or?
No, I'd be happy to make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll
Okay.
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Take
Thank
care.
Bye
you
now.
all.
Donnell, you're great. Take care.
Bye.
You too.